Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to React Quickly. This is chapter number 8. This is the last chapter in part number 1, the foundations of React. The foundations which will allow you to basically have a strong understanding of the core React concepts and then gradually build advanced user interfaces using this wonderful library. So in this chapter, basically we are putting an icing on the cake. We're putting a cherry on top of your cupcake, if you prefer those. We will be talking about some of the features of React that will allow you to advance your components. Well, allow you to build components which are more scalable in developmental scale, meaning once your projects becomes larger or your open source library UI component becomes larger, it would be still relatively simple and easy for other developers to consume that. Let me give you an example. Property types. It's a great feature which will allow you to specify the property types which needs to be supplied to this component. You can make the property types required or optional. And obviously you can specify the property types such as a string, a number, a function, an object, etc. If you don't have those property types, basically when someone tries to use your library, they have no freaking clue what properties they should supply to you unless A, you have a documentation, B, you have an example, C, you have tests, or D, they good at reading your source code, or the last option, they're just your friends and they go and ask you. So obviously prop types will allow you to have this built-in functionality in your component that will double check the types of the properties that other code is passing to your component when it's creating an element from your component. Then also things like how would you extend the functionality of a certain component. Let's say you wanted your component or someone else's component to do some to have some certain behavior, and you want to reuse that code across many components. Good example would be data store. So you have your data store, but then you want that data store to be accessible in many other components. So you can achieve that by using higher order components. So this is a pattern that basically it's a function in a nutshell that takes the original component, adds some functionality onto it, and creates a class. So again, we would be creating a new React class, react.component, we'll be extending that. And then after we've enhanced that class with certain logic, like a data store, we would render using the component that's provided to us in the function as an argument of this function. So this is a higher order components in a nutshell. Another thing is that we can create components certain way that basically whatever children we're passing to that component, so when we create that component it becomes an element, so whatever properties we're passing to that element, your component can interact, can render those children, can do something with those children. There is this property, it's called this.props.children. So basically, by using that property, we can create certain components that are very flexible. You can pass any data to them, they would be okay with that. Now, let me give you an example. You're building a blog, and that blog needs to render different posts. One format of the posts would be text, another would be images, third one it could be just a link. So how would you do that? So you can create a content component, do your layout, do your styling in that component, but then basically just render whatever children your content component is receiving. So it's like a pass-through. So whatever someone gives you, you would just use that. So it's a really cool property. This way, again, you can reuse code. You can create a smart component that using this pass-through logic. So This is the last chapter. It takes components to the new level by advancing them. Definitely a must know it there. React provides those wonderful features to you. Enjoy chapter number 8, and I see you in the next video.